We live?
Illinois National Guard.
Were ya?
And I would donate it to them guys.
Oh my
It
gosh,
shows
Mr.
camp.
Mitchell, I love that.
It shows camp.
Thank you very much, Terry.
After World War. Chris.
Is my microphone? Okay, there we go.
Okay, we might as well start then.
Yep. Yeah, we will.
Right, right.
You're not gonna pay me for it, and I gotta pay for the shipping. But you know what? It doesn't belong in my museum. It belongs in their museum. I picked it up.
Where they get shut off.
It's 340.
Get to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's big.
And there are horses. You have those scanned, it costs you $50.
Oh, that's a big one. My great grandfather passed away since he was a little boy, 280 back. And he has one of those people. He was there for the reborn class at 18 in Ireland. And he has a picture of the mushroom cloud, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But it is like, yeah. He said, yeah, it was a tip. Like frozen. Like a tip. It's really kind of
Closer than I'd want to be.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly.
That was
She
a big thing.
She was a valuable asset.
So what was it? A hat, you said?
It was a Holly Fire Department hat. Belonged to,
Now, is
I can't
Brian,
remember his name.
Ted Haddon, didn't it?
You know if Brian is going to, have you heard anything from him?
well, I'm gonna sit at the picnic table. I'll be your representative.
Oh, yeah, this guy was quite a character. That guy could said Holly Fire Department real hat.
Oh, I'll be there.
So I turned it over here.
All right.
Here, put this in the museum.
All right, Peanut Gallery.
Okay.
We'll bring this January 3rd Village of Holly Parks Commission meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. on January 3rd. Carol, will you do a roll call, please?
Lease,
Here?
Peltonen,
Here.
McCanny, Hutchins,
Here.
Cangetter, McAllister, Rankin.
Here. I did receive word from Sarah McCanny and David Cangetter that they would not be attending tonight's meeting. And as I mentioned earlier, Monica, she hasn't submitted a formal letter yet, but I know she's going to be resigning from the Parks Commission because she moved out of the village. So if we could get a motion to excuse the two that are still going to be on the commission.
So moved.
I'll support that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to excuse Sarah McCanny and Dave Cangetter. Anybody have any changes they would like to make to the agenda? Or can I get a motion to approve? Hold on one sec before anybody makes a motion. I may have something I want to add.
Okay.
And actually, I'll save these for the next meeting when everyone's present. So if somebody wants to make the motion to approve the agenda
So
for
moved.
tonight.
Support.
All right, we have support or motion and support for the approval of the tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And the approval of the minutes from the October October 4th, 2017 meeting. Does anybody have any changes, questions, or concerns about the minutes in your packet from the previous meeting? I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes of the October 4th, 2017 meeting.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor of approving the minutes from October 4th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Also motion carries. Is there any public comment for this evening? Our two members of the public are shaking their heads, so we will move on to old business. This is something we had started at the October meeting, and I put it in everyone's head to give this some thought so that we could redefine the purpose of the Parks Commission, and not only redefine it, but recommit ourselves to that definition. I feel that as a commission, while we've done some good things, we've done a lot of wheel spinning over the past few years as well. And granted, we've been short on funds for projects that we've wanted to complete. but I would like to see my contribution to the redefinition is I would like to see us engaging the community more with music in the parks, which I plan to continue for this year. Hey, and Brian's here. Well, there's 3 chairs, Katie. You can stay at the big kids table. Welcome. You haven't missed anything. So I would like to see us come up with some projects that involve the community and engage the community much more than we have even in the past couple of years with things like the cleanup days and I'm interested to hear number 1 of general business, and if anybody has any additional thoughts on old business number 1, I'd be happy to hear them. All right then. Moving on. General business number 1. And again, at the October meeting, I challenged all of you to come up with a project or an activity, an idea, a program that we could initiate or institute this year. I'm interested to hear what everyone has for an idea for a program this year.
Okay, well, I thought maybe how to learn how to canoe at our Bush Lake boat ramp area.
Oh, at Lakeside Park.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Or kayaking.
Yeah.
Like a canoeing, kayaking class.
Yeah.
That would be great because we could get Headwaters Trails and we could get the Shiawassee River Trail Committee, which we are a member of.
And some canoes.
Well, and kayaks for sure, because I know all of the coalition members have kayaks, and probably a good number of them have canoes as well. We could probably facilitate that pretty easily. That's a great idea. I like that a lot.
That'd be cool.
I think too, we looked at using our beach for a livery at one time. And also, this board here looked at putting out a livery.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta watch a livery in the public side because the liabilities. Even though we're not canoeing, the states might be free, but canoeing's getting, I think it's old school and everybody's kayaking.
Yes.
Just kayaking.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, kayaking is like the new rollerblading.
The little kayaks, the big kayaks, the sea yaks, the double yaks, all depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And everybody goes family yakking.
Well, you can bring more stuff in a canoe if you were gonna.
Well, you'd be surprised at what you can fit into a proper kayak as opposed to one you just sit on, the kind you sit in. They
don't-
have a lot of storage space.
We don't want to eliminate the canoeing.
Oh, no,
No,
absolutely
no.
not. No. It would definitely be a
Right.
canoe and kayak.
Yeah, I think canoeing
Because
is
the
important.
techniques are different.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
a
pe-
kayak, you're
for
generally by
people with
yourself.
young children, canoeing is safer for them because they can get them in the
Well, you
middle.
can get a bunch of.
Yeah.
Right, you can get 3
more.
people in a canoe. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that they make 2 and 3 person kayaks, but I don't think they're nearly as common as singles.
Right.
What you might want to do, we didn't get enough feedback on township parks, but we were going to do kayak, because wintertime's a good time for this, kayak lessons in the school pool. I hope, like an open swim night.
Oh, there you
Open
go.
Kayak night, because that way it's safer, it's warmer, it's easier to learn how to roll over in a kayak. And then
Right,
goes-
when somebody's standing there in
Yeah.
3 feet of water next to you.
True, that's what you do.
And you have to be in deep enough water to do a roll over with a paddle. Back in my skinnier days, I used to kayak. I call it a freighter.
What's the status of the high school pool? What do we have access to that still? Is that still, are there still open swims going on there? I've heard there was problems with the pools and they've closed it down and they don't heat it, or there's no more classes.
Township Parks runs the pool.
Okay.
swim team would turn the pool down because they're swimming. I mean, you know, they're practicing.
Right, and they sweat.
And so they run it down, and then they don't pump it back up, and somebody doesn't pay attention, and they have problems with the heater, and you gotta be 84 degrees plus to enjoy a pool. You get down below the 82 to 80 degrees, and boom, it's hard to teach people to swim when they're shivering.
Right.
So we had a lot of problems with the pool controls, but,
So it wasn't necessarily a mechanical issue, but just somebody wasn't turning the thermostat back up.
there was some mechanical, there was always an issue.
Oh, okay.
Well, I would contact Tony Brinker, because
Okay.
she's the one that does the, more or less runs the pool. We have open swim, I can't remember what nights they are now, it depends on who signs up. We have water aerobics, and then we have swimming lessons. And then we gotta look out for the swim team, because they have to be there first, so.
Right.
But, were
So we
looking
got to
at
schedule
one
around
time
them.
Of having kayak lessons.
That'd be wonderful. And then, like, I
Yeah,
s-
sure
and I'm
if
sure
you
that
wanna
the
throw a
coalition.
canoe- If you wanna throw a canoe in the pool, there wouldn't be a problem with that either, because you have to know how to rate a canoe back up and how to bail it.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Who's on first, so I would contact Tony Brinker or run it by her.
Okay, we'll see how that
It's a
can work
good
out.
kind of project for people.
It is, and David Lossing is the current chair of the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition. Actually met with him a couple of weeks ago in Fenton at a coffee shop, and we just sat down and chatted about what's coming up with the coalition and the things that we as a member can do to help further their cause. So the one thing I see, or the one thing that comes to mind right away is, of course, getting the word out there that we have these programs that we're talking about tonight.
See what the input is and see how many people are interested.
Well, if we were to do this, we could do it in partnership with the village, with the Township Park Commission, we'd work together on it.
Yeah, it'd be parks and parks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
Okay.
the biggest thing is I've lived close enough to Bush Lake, I know where you reach the bottom of Bush Lake. And you have to be in more than 3 feet of water to paddle roll a kayak back up over.
Sure.
And
Otherwise, you're
if
going to
you
hit your
Bush
head.
Lake in 6 feet of water, you sink in your waders, you sink in the muck, and pretty soon you're over your head. So that's why we thought about doing it as a pool, because you got a bottom.
Well, right, there's a solid bottom and all that. I've never actually gone swimming at the township beach. What's the surface of under the water? What's the ground
Oh,
like?
Oh, that's all sand.
Yeah.
But out to how deep?
How deep?
Okay,
You can walk a long way.
Yeah.
Rope line is about waist deep, so that's 3 to 4 feet, and then
Oh.
beyond that is deep water.
Okay.
In
And
front
does
of
the
that-
sand stop at the rope line?
Pardon?
Does the sand stop?
No, it's still sandy. Well, I've walked out on the bottom out to 7 feet deep, 7,
That's a
8
good
feet
firm
deep.
bottom.
It's still
Okay.
sandy.
Okay, good. So off the township beach, there would be, if we put kayaks and canoes in there, we could flip them over and not hit your head.
And usually township has swimming lessons from 9 till noon
Okay.
during the week, so you could fit it in after that. You got lifeguards there,
And this is during the day.
yeah. And,
Or we could
At
do
the
it
beach
over
or
in
at the
where
pool?
Launch is too. It's deeper there,
but the launch is kind of nasty.
is it?
Usually broken glass and
Oh, nice.
it's mucky.
Yeah.
Launch is pretty tough. Yeah, the beach closes at 8 o'clock at night, so you can do an evening session
Yeah.
after dinner, before dinner. There's a lot
Right,
of
right.
time there. You can talk to Brinker.
Yep. Yep. I will definitely do that. We'll try and set something like. I think we should definitely pursue that program.
Other
Or
than private
fishing,
property, that's the
since we
most-
have that fishing also would be good if we had access to boats for those who don't fish much.
Well, and or even
At
if
that
we
boat
wanted to
launch.
do something fishing, I mean, we could even do either something along the banks of the Shiawassee at Waterworks, or on the east side of Broad Street in Stiff's Pond, in the Mill Pond.
A lot of people fish
A
there.
lot of people fish there anyways. You can just stand along the bank. There's a long, a good 150 foot of lake shore right there. Pond Shore, whatever.
They'll need a license, so.
Well, they have free fishing days to, DNR does.
Yeah.
And a kid doesn't need a license, but don't let his dad hand him home, because as soon as he hands him home, he better have a license.
Right.
But I used to fish, me and a couple of police chiefs used to, they came and went. We used to fish from the outlet of Bush Lake, which is by the beach, all the way to the steps. And we'd only be out there waist deep.
Yeah.
And we used to spat for bass in the evenings. So there's fish to be caught out there. You know, you don't have to, you really have to have a boat in Bush Lake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll check into the fishing days. See when that is. Maybe we could coordinate an event with
Free
one of
fishing
those
days.
days.
And if not, we'd have maybe strike up a fish tournament. At one time, the Presbyterian Church here in town, on Maple Street, I went to one of their garage sales, and they had a big old pile of Zebco rods and reels. And that's what they did, was they sponsored our kids' fishing derbies. And they had a whole barrel of those things. I don't know whatever happened to them. I thought, geez, if they were open face, I'd buy them, but they're all closed face,
Right.
push button cast rods for the kids. But there might be some donations available out there or anything else from local merchants. They probably had 150 fish poles in their barrel.
Right.
But I'm sure you're not going to have 150 people show up to go fishing.
No, probably not. But two great ideas. Thank you, Gail. Any other programs?
I'd like to see us get back to a little nostalgia,
Uh-oh.
and that is a program is treasure hunt.
I could not think of that word, treasure hunt. But that's a great idea.
Or scavenger hunt?
Yeah,
Scavenger hunt.
Treasure hunts.
Yeah?
And I'd like to see somebody find the Morse finding Arboretum.
Yeah.
That was always
That's
on
it.
the list.
You always want to go over there.
I know.
The bridge isn't there anymore, Joe.
Well, that should be a project. I mean, that'd be nice.
Yes, you're on
For what?
TV.
Or the Shiawassee Conservative, because that is part of the Shiawassee
Yeah,
River
yeah.
Valley is the bank along the Morris Fine and Arboretum.
Now would be a good time to go look. There's no poison ivy
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now.
And we could have the great pickle hunt. Everybody's looking for the Aunt Jane pickle in the milk pond in the Greater town.
They were looking for what?
There used to be a pickle factory in town.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what, they also used to do that, where they'd put a car, maybe DNA doesn't let them do it anymore, but they'd put a car out on Bush Lake, not Bevins Lake, and people would, put down when they think it would go under. It was
Oh,
a
jeez.
contest. And,
Yeah, I don't think that DNR would appreciate
Well,
that.
we did it for years.
Lake Orin used to do that, M24, they went right through Lake Orin and
Yeah,
Ashland.
yeah.
They had one lake on the side, they'd have that car sitting out there, and everybody, writing what time and what day she'd go through the ice. But it had to be totally drained, that's what they did. There was no engine in it, no.
Oh, no, just a
Right.
junker car.
And everything was, the pigs were all taken out of it, they just sank the body. That was kind of a little fundraiser.
Hmm.
Everybody get close.
Interesting stuff.
One thing we might want to check into, I haven't caught it on my public TV channel yet. Some places are still, the AMA is still racing motorcycles on the ice. And they used to race right there where the War Memorial is,
Yes,
on Bush Lake.
they did.
And they charge admission, it's Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Yeah.
So maybe if somebody could check with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, because they usually run on indoor rinks now. But I still see they're doing, I don't know if it's amateur or pro motorcycle racing there. And what everybody liked about Bush Lake, it's pretty shallow, so you don't have to worry about going through where they used to race.
Right.
And they used to pack it over there. They'd race on a Saturday, and in the winter, and man, they just, right before they changed the road, man, it was a big money rating for Big Brothers, Big Sisters out of Flint. Then they raced at the IMA after that.
So in regards to your treasure hunt, your scavenger hunt idea, what's the treasure? What are we looking for?
Money.
I think it's to just have just one a year. We
But
should-
the winner
we should-
wins
we should
a
have
pot.
monthly or something.
Well, that would be nice, but
And, you know, get the local merchants to donate.
there you
You
go.
know, prizes and stuff, you know, even if it was a Red Devil pizza. It gets people out, get them in the community, they get to learn the community.
It's just fun, it really.
Yeah.
And maybe, since we have the bicycle lanes, we can incorporate the bicycle lanes in this,
Well, there you go.
you know, biking to find Holly, or whatever, do that by bicycle. Different promotions, people, everybody's got a bike, geez, we dig them out of junk all the time, you know.
Right?
That way they can pedal around the community and just have a lot of fun and get merchants to donate goodies or whatever else, free car wash or. Then you get the bragging rights too.
Yeah.
And there should be a grand prize that if say we have four, if somebody wins, takes first place out of all four, they should get something really nice.
Well, we'll have to raid the prize closet and see what we got.
And the biggest thing too is I'd break it up into categories, the agency.
Well, yeah,
take
age
more than
groups.
4 times.
Yeah, you'd break it up into age groups or,
Yeah.
or,
Cheating suspicion.
or we could pit the neighborhoods against each other. You know, we've got the Patterson versus Mill Point versus, you know, the historic downtown district
Yeah.
versus, you know, the east side.
Or precinct 1, precinct 2.
Well, there you go. Joyce, any
Well, I
programs you were interested in
talked about
bringing
ice
up?
sculptures, but I don't know, you know, we don't want to step on your toes, Katie. We don't want to do what you've already planned to do, you know.
Do you have an ice sculpture contest coming on?
I don't have ice sculptures on my list of goals for next year.
We did it one year, and they were lovely. Unfortunately, they were knocked down almost immediately. And that was sad.
We had it a couple of years in a row, a winter
we had it.
carnival.
Yeah.
I think our winter carnival
But-
lasted three winters. I know fireworks was 2 winters.
Wonder if we could incorporate something like that with Dickens.
There was an ice carver who did a huge, if people got to watch it being carved, it wasn't like it was just delivered.
Right.
That was a couple of years ago. It was an old coworker of mine, her husband is a competition carver. He also has his own business.
Yeah.
Outside the blocks, ice carving, and so he did like a big, like toy soldier. It was about 6 feet tall or so.
Oh, wow.
Took a
Wow.
long time to carve with the chainsaw and all the chisels and
Sure.
things. Because he competes at the Franklin Zender Snowfest and a couple other places.
Right.
Eastern Michigan University. And so that was one of the things that was hired for entertainment.
Okay.
At Dickens was an ice sculpture, ice carver.
Well, and bringing that back, I could see having some sort of a contest with all the amateurs, and then have it culminate with the professional guy putting his carving together.
Absolutely.
From the ice sculptures we had before, if you're going to chef school, you have to carve ice.
That's where he learned how to do it, was culinary school at
And that's
Eastern
where,
Michigan.
when we had our ice sculptures here in town, they were sponsored, they were from different chefs from different restaurants all over. And they had to be competed in, so they didn't have to battle with Northville or Franklin. You know, to get some of the slots. I think we had about, we went through Chamber of Commerce when we did those, and I think at one time we had like 25 or 30 ice sculptures.
They were all over.
Missed the boat, couldn't get into the other ones. And they did a lot of carving, all the way through downtown, all the way up through to Midtown.
Any other projects or
I wish
ideas?
you did, but I don't.
Okay, well, good. So the idea that I had, and this, and as I'm thinking about this might actually be something. I'm not sure that Parks is the group to put this on, but I was thinking historic house tours.
Oh, I thought of that too, but I thought that belongs to the historical society.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking, is that you know, the Parks might not be the best, but maybe we could
Co-sponsor.
something. We could
have
be involved in
more and
it.
more houses being redone, and you know, I'd pay to go through the old Bailey place.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a lot of, you know, a lot of historic homes within a short distance of one another, that it wouldn't be too difficult to just to walk between them, and you know,
Yeah,
it'd be
it was a walking tour.
2 or 3 minute walk between each house isn't unbearable.
and let it culminate in Crapo Park.
Okay, for a
To
concert.
do what?
Or, you know,
And speaking of,
show
so
or a flea market or something or anything.
art show. So speaking of music in the park, so I've got plans for June, July, and August. Monthly shows in the park again this year. If we have a little more success with it this year, last year was I think was a nice start. It was a little sparsely attended for the most part. But maybe this year with having a few concerts under our belt, maybe the word will get out and people will be. I've had a few people tell me they're looking forward to it. So in that vein, what I would like to do is add a concert to the 4th of July festivities and get food trucks down there,
To,
Lakeside Park, during the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, let's have it at the park.
So logistically, Brian, are we able to get food trucks inside the fence? I can't remember. I know we had I thought we had an ice cream truck last year.
Yeah, they've got double gates that go in by the big pavilion.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we got some a method to get the trucks in there. So if we could get 2 or 3 food trucks, starting at like 4 o'clock, have the band start at 5, have the band play till 7 or 8, or have 2 bands, have them play for an hour apiece with a half hour in between or something. And that's kind of in the works. So with a little luck, our 4th of July festivities there'll be a little bit more going on at Lakeside Park prior to the fireworks. So it won't just be just the fireworks to show up for. Everybody show up at dark and then leave 20 minutes later. So we'll get
Back up on your band idea, we used to have the Holly Festival band
Yeah, that was good.
play in the only pavilion we got in the beach.
yeah.
And the police chief at that time, Greg Hamminster,
Hansmeier.
yeah, Hamsmeyer, he played the clarinet. And they used to play in the park there. Everybody enjoyed it. We play in the evening, before the fireworks.
Mhm.
Now, is the Holly Festival band Vigo Capuche?
I don't think it's still.
But now what about the school band? Are they interested? Is there anybody, other bands in town besides the high school band?
That was one of the people I was going to contact to find. I mean, that's not during the school year, so I don't know how feasible that is. But I was going to make a phone call and find out.
Does the academy have a band?
I don't know. Holly Academy, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or it doesn't, a lot of times, school marching bands sound like school marching bands. There's always a band, session or school. So not everybody's in the marching band. And I guess what was the carryover from the Holly Festival band was most of the people that played in that played in school. And they were, middle-aged or older. And maybe there's some people up at Holly Woodlands who used to play musical instruments. You get the seniors in.
Well, there you go.
Our band this year is great.
Huh?
They've gone to 2, where did they go last time? This last time. Went to some big parade, and they were the only ones in Michigan asked to go. It was out of state.
I would get a hold of if they have one, activities director at Holly Woodlands. And maybe there's some seniors up there who would like to put on a popular band. Let's include the seniors and everything else. They just love to get out and do something, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad everybody came up with some ideas. Those are definitely some things to work towards. I really like the canoe and kayak lessons. Ice sculptures is great. Treasure hunt. I love treasure hunts. Okay. Let's move on to number 2. Capital projects for 2018. We should probably pick a day to finish painting gazebo at Ganshaw. We've got it halfway done. It looks okay from the street, but Brian, is there a way we could get those stairs on the back side of that thing fixed before we go and paint the rest of it?
Yeah, I've talked
'Cause-
to Tom, I think that whole thing is shifted when we had that frost a couple years ago.
Yeah, it looks like the front of it's kind of leaning down a
Yeah,
little.
So we're gonna take a look at that again in the spring and see what we
Okay.
can do.
Yeah, so we'll plan on getting it painted. I'd like to have those stairs are in rough shape. The stairs and the railing on the back. The front's okay, and the ramp's okay, and the rest of it looks pretty solid as far as where it's at. Like I said, I think it's leaning a little, but it's not like falling apart, except for those stairs and the rail.
One little thought about the new construction of the new steps upstairs
You know,
is that they can do, it's easy to prefab the stairs and then tie them into the existing. They can pre-paint those in the DPW driveway, one
Well.
less thing to paint.
well, they would. Well, yeah. Either way, I mean, if we had to go back and paint them after, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just a couple of stairs. But yeah, if you
Get in time for
Just-
prom pictures and graduation pictures and.
right, the sooner we can get that finished up, the better.
Yeah, before it gets to be 90 degrees.
Well, before another year passes is what I was worried about.
Right.
I mean, we had a good solid start on it, and then it, we didn't finish it on the first day, and I know myself and a few others went back a couple of weekends after that. But when you've only got 2 or 3 people painting that big structure, it doesn't go as quickly as when you have 15 people from Wham helping out.
Well, then we should probably make that our #1 priority because it's something that didn't get finished and it's very important.
I agree.
It's right on Main Street, so that should be our numero uno project.
Maybe the end of May.
It should be pretty much cleared out by then, weather-wise.
Gail, can you contact Wham
For me,
and find out when at the end of May that they are available, and we will set our paint day for the day that they can come out, and that's what we'll do. We'll
just
Paint.
concentrate on getting it.
Yeah, because
painted.
we had them for, we had Wham there for 3 hours, and we got about a third of it done.
Now, do you want a 1-day or 2-day WAM commitment on that? Because if
I think if we had a 1-day commitment with,
But if you get a 2-day, if you got something else you can paint in, or it's done.
well, if we come up with something else, then maybe
I'm
we.
sure that if we come up with a 2-day WAM group, we can break something.
Well-
Clean something.
Well, or we could have them, we could restain the bridge at Waterworks,
Yeah.
because that needs to be done.
So
We'll have
I-
them do the top, and we'll have the other volunteers that aren't a part of Wham get down in the river and do the underside.
It'd be nice if you.
Because I know they won't get down in the
Well,
river.
if they have 2 vans,
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Yeah.
But 2 days might be too much.
All good work WAM come up with.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get
What's
one van for
available?
2 days or 2 vans for 1 day, it's
Yeah, wherever, we need to.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we can get something else done, would be number 2.
Yeah, the
Right.
manpower is
Yep,
what we
absolutely.
need.
So get a hold of Wham, find out what we can do. Do we have the benches? Did we ever receive the benches that we were planning on replacing the sections of the lakeside fence?
They're easily available, so I just need to order them and
Okay.
we can look at that as a late spring, early spring, whatever you wanna do there.
Perfect.
We looked at shifting the existing fence and trying to save some of it.
Right.
And then that way, we just have to decide how many benches. There is a couple benches out there, so we move those back, so.
Right, can we move those around and then take the sections that they're in front of, take
obviously
those sections
that's
out?
April, May, we get together and then.
Okay.
We can make some decisions and then.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's plan on, well, we've got 3 meetings between now and April, so we'll put something together as far as picking a date to wander out there and put our eyes on it. Does anybody else have any capital projects they're interested in discussing for this year?
How are we coming along with the tombstone cleaning?
I believe we have that scheduled for the weekend before Memorial Day. So we'll pick a different section and get started on it this year. Last year, I was out of town. I scheduled it, and then I ended up being out of town that weekend. But
The weather didn't cooperate too well.
Yeah, it was kind of, but there was still a handful of volunteers that went out there. I know Sarah and Mike McCanny went out there with their daughters, and then I think there were 3 other people that showed up. So they did, a couple dozen headstones that they were able to clean in one of the older sections. So, I mean, so we did get a little bit, a little headway on it, but not a lot. But we'll do it again this year, and we'll just keep at it. A little bit at a time. I'm going to move that we postpone the appointment of the chair and a co-chair until next month, when we have everyone here and hopefully a replacement for Monica. If somebody wants to support that or not.
I'll support that.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor of postponing the appointment until February meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Very good. We'll wait till next month to do that when everybody's here. Okay, so number 4, last on the list, we have appointment of a representative and an alternate to the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition. So we already have a representative who is currently myself. And I wanted to discuss whether we want to make the chair and the co-chair the rep and the alternate, or do we want to pick specific persons on the board regardless of their position?
Did you want to save that for next meeting?
We can do that as well. We can.
I'll
Get
support
somebody
it.
in the corner and beat them up there?
If you guys want to postpone it, we can make a motion to postpone till next meeting. Anyone?
I
Anyone?
move that we wait till next month.
And I second.
Okay, so we have a motion to postpone the appointment of the representative and alternate to the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition. Let me see, hold on one. Before we take a vote on that, let me throw a wrench in the works. Let's get on the correct month. So the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition has a meeting on the 25th that I'm planning on attending, and they're going to ask me who our rep and alternate are. How about in the interim, until we make any changes, we'll say it's the chair and the co-chair. So it'll be myself, and at this point it's Dave
Sounds good.
as the co-chair. I'll make the motion that we would tentatively appoint the chair and co-chair of the Parks Commission as the representative and the alternate to the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of tentatively or temporarily appointing the chair and co-chair of the Parks Commission to the Shiawassee River Trail Coalition, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So that'll be the standing order until we change it. And we'll revisit that at the next meeting. All right. And that's all we have on the agenda for today. Brian, reports anything? What's new? What's new in the world of the DPW?
Cold, and cold.
Yeah, more cold.
As soon as the weather breaks, which probably about 10 days, we'll start taking Christmas decorations down. So if you hear anybody complain, it's not that we're avoiding it, but it's a little chilly.
It's cool.
But we are avoiding it.
It's too cold.
It's too cold to do
If
that.
you're looking for volunteers that want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
there you
anybody
go.
wants to help in the cold, I'm sure
Yeah,
my guys
yeah.
will out of the jet.
Have
Right.
you heard anything about the Waterworks building? Have they?
They are supposed to give a presentation next council meeting.
Who is they?
Bob Hoffman?
Bob and George, basically.
I don't know.
It's basically Bob Hoffman and George Cullis are the two that have kind of taken that building by the horns, and we'll see where they're at.
Little Ben and Jerry,
A little bit. Okay. Board member comments. Joe, any news? Anything you'd like to add?
I'm looking forward to 2018.
Amen.
Parks is getting exciting. The town's on the move, it's filling in the gaps, and all's well.
Gail?
No.
Joey?
Second what Joe said, I think Holly's just taking off. I'm so excited about the school being made into a hotel.
Oh, I know.
I went there, my
That's-
parents went there, I taught there for 20 years. I didn't want to see it torn down.
No, I'm glad that they decided, that somebody has decided to do something with it.
Now, that's gone through, hasn't it? I mean,
It still needs to go through the.
Yeah, it hasn't gone to planning or anything.
All of those. Right now, it's an idea that's, pretty well founded. There's big plans, and they're working with Main Street Oakland County too to make sure, there's a lot of hoops to jump through when it comes
Sure.
to, funding, reimbursements and such, and they're ready and willing to do all of the necessary stuff, knowing that there are hoops to jump through, but we will be glad to help them through the process.
I was so glad when I saw that because when I taught there, and Dan Rose was the director for years, and his big dream was if we can't ever use this as a school, I'd like to see it turned into apartments for seniors.
Well, there you
So this is a little step up from that, but still, you know, he could see back then, it was feasible to have apartments.
That was a possibility that we were looking, at one time to try and attract that. So, a boutique hotel with event space is exciting too. Yeah, you're right.
Well, they seem to know what they're doing, these people. Great.
Last but not least, when do you need our budget request? Yesterday or?
No, February, March.
Okay, so,
Is that what
Okay, well, we meet in February.
because of the holidays, we were supposed to have some stuff done for budget, but those were just, we're gonna look at rolling a 2-year budget, so if you have stuff that you wanna see maybe this year and next year,
okay.
and then we can
Wow.
prioritize those.
Get things that I've wanted to see for the past 5 years, so
Yes.
I'll just put those on there.
But, yeah, we are starting to see a little bit more money flow. into
Just a
some of
little bit.
the
Just a little
Quality
bit.
of life issues instead of the necessities.
Great, good to hear. Because I'm still on board with trying to put a boardwalk at Ganshaw out onto the lake. Still want to see that. Signage at Waterworks is going to be on the budget for this year. Benches, picnic tables in various places, and and I have a lofty project for Crapo Park, which I mean I've talked to you about before about retaining walls and not just for the flower beds either. You know, having something around the front of it so that instead of a slope, it's a couple of steps.
Did we ever get the lease or that
The deed,
situated?
Well, so the last I heard is that we have an indefinite year-to-year lease on the property. Whatever that entails.
even the railroad was kind of.
So they
What?
were kind of like, I don't know what you're gonna. Nobody really knew. I don't think the railroad really knows that they own that property. Quite honestly,
Don't tell 'em.
That's dangerous.
because I mean, it's been so long, and it's been being used by us for so long. I mean, that's been 3 or 4 generations
At
since.
one time, we had 100-year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that was.
Like 1917 or 19.
It was 1916 when that 99-year lease was invoked. So, and I still have a copy of it if anybody wants to see. But, so Debbie came through with the information that we have a year-to-year lease that is just in perpetuity.
But it's
So-
only your lease, right?
Correct.
They don't want it.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, unless they change some kind to make that a passenger rail instead of a commercial rail, then there's no way to people it's not large enough to have a switching area or that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you could do is store a few cars there.
They should give it up. You know what I mean? Get out of our way.
Have you dealt with the railroad before?
Yeah, they're plenty.
Okay, I mean,
They're pleasant. They're Canadians.
we'll get a case of mold and sit down and discuss it, you know? I think, you know, if they don't have any, like you say, what they gonna do with that little postage stamp? They can't store it.
Right. If they were going to put train cars in there, they'd have to back the train up 14 times to get 10 cars off.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is one thing, I think maybe if they're approached or anything else, maybe they say, hey, you know, here, you guys had it for 100 years. And who
Right.
the queen of Canada is can sign the papers. But yeah, it'd be nice to put that so there's something more definite than a year-to-year lease with the foreign railroad company.
Right.
Foreign company, you know?
So then the last thing, the last little capital project ideas that I've had for a couple of years is seeing some sail shades over the playscape at Lakeside, and
Somewhat.
kiosk at the park, at each of the parks, kind of like the ones we have downtown, to kind of tie the parks into the wayfinding motif that we have downtown. All right, so we have reached our second public comment. Do either of you have anything to add to what we've spoken about tonight? Any ideas, additions? All right, well, then, by the power vested in me, I declare this meeting over. 7:47.
That's terrible.
It ain't flowing.
That's not good.
I think that the big house